Welcome to Golden Age But Weird, the series that digs up the strangest, campiest, and most unbelievable tales from comic book history. Today, we're bringing you Season 1, 10 Forgotten Oddities from the Golden Age Vault. Let's dive in.
Elvis superhero-style secret. During the Golden Age of comics, from 1938 to 1956, the industry was filled with peculiar stories and fascinating cultural crossovers. Among the most unusual was the unlikely connection between a comic book superhero and a future rock and roll legend. In 1944, Captain Marvel Jr., a blue-costumed, slick-haired teen hero published by Fawcett Comics, soared in popularity with young readers. What made this more than just another superhero fad was the profound impact the character had on an aspiring musician from Tupelo, Mississippi, Elvis Presley. It wasn't just that Elvis enjoyed the adventures of Captain Marvel Jr., he actually shaped his personal style, from his signature pompadour haircut to his stage outfits, after the fictional hero. Captain Marvel Jr., whose alter ego was the disabled newsboy Freddie Freeman, differed from other superheroes of the era. He was youthful, relatable, and had a tragic backstory that resonated with kids growing up during the hardships of World War II. The character's look was distinct: blue tights, a lightning bolt symbol, and a wavy, jet-black hairdo with a prominent curl. Young Elvis, growing up in a poor household, found inspiration in Freddie's transformation into a powerful hero, and the comic's themes of hope and overcoming adversity struck a chord with him. Over the years, as Elvis began his ascent to musical stardom, he continued to collect and read Captain Marvel Jr. comics, even arranging for new issues to be delivered directly to his home during the height of his fame. The influence didn't stop with his reading habits. Elvis's hair, famously coiffed and slicked to the side, was a direct homage to his comic book idol. His flashy stage costumes, with capes and bold, colorful designs, echoed the superhero's look. Even his famous Taking Care of Business logo, which included a lightning bolt, was reminiscent of Captain Marvel Jr.'s iconic symbol. It's said that visitors to Graceland, Elvis's Memphis mansion, would find stacks of well-thumbed Captain Marvel Jr. comics, testament to the king of rock and roll's lifelong admiration for the blue-caped hero. This unlikely connection between comics and music is one of the strangest and most charming anecdotes from the Golden Age, illustrating the far-reaching impact of superheroes outside the pages of their own stories. The story of Elvis and Captain Marvel Jr. is a fascinating footnote in pop culture history, showcasing how the fantastical world of comics can inspire real-world creativity and shape the icons of future generations. It's a reminder that the heroes we look up to in our youth can leave a lasting impression, influencing art, fashion, and even the sound of an era. The Golden Age of comics was filled with bizarre and unexpected stories, but few are as endearing or as influential as the time when the king of rock and roll took style tips from a teenage superhero. Brought to you by Victory Age Comics. Reviving forgotten heroes, one panel at a time. What's crackin' in the world of superheroes? Well, in the Golden Age, it might just be your breakfast. When Wonder Woman squared off against Egg Fu in the pages of 1965's Wonder Woman number 157, the world was introduced to one of the most exceptionally bizarre villains ever hatched from the comic book coop. Egg Fu was not just any adversary, he was a gigantic, sentient egg from China, sporting a curly mustache that doubled as a weapon. Using his mustachioed whip powers, Egg Fu managed to scramble Wonder Woman and even left the Justice League in a yolk-filled mess. This eccentric oval-shaped enemy was a walking, talking omelet of Cold War paranoia, racial stereotypes, and pure pulp weirdness, leaving readers everywhere wondering if they'd eaten some bad eggs. In the end, Egg Fu proved you don't need a hard shell to crack the best heroes in the biz, just a little villainy and a whole lot of cholesterol. Golden Age, but weird, Victory Age Comics. Ever wondered what would happen if the Man of Steel traded in his cape for a pair of Pampers? Welcome to the wildest day in Metropolis history, when Superman got hypnotized into thinking he was a baby, and the city just rolled with it. In this delightfully absurd tale from the Golden Age, our hero faces off against the dastardly Dr. Hypno, who zaps Superman with a mind-bending ray. Faster than a speeding toddler, Superman regresses to infancy, crawling through the Daily Planet, babbling at Lois Lane, and scaling skyscrapers with a rattle in hand and a giant diaper snugly in place. Amazingly, not a single Metropolitan pauses their day. After all, last week Superman turned invisible and juggled elephants at City Hall. This is just another Tuesday. By the end, Superman's super baby antics accidentally foil Dr. Hypno's plot. Turns out, a flying infant in tights is hard to ignore, and a quick dose of counter-hypnosis brings him back to his senses, with only a vague memory and a suspicious rash to show for it. Golden Age, but weird, Victory Age Comics. Baldness gas chaos. Hold on to your hair pieces, citizens, because Lex Luthor's latest plan will leave Metropolis slicker than a bowling alley. In one of the most follicle-fueled Golden Age Superman tales, The evil genius unleashes a diabolical baldness gas across the city, vowing that not a single strand will survive his wrath. Panic erupts as hats go flying and combs become obsolete overnight, with even Superman caught in the crossfire, forced to don a wavy, suspiciously shiny wig to protect his secret identity and, let's face it, his pride. In this chrome-domed caper, Superman battles his most humiliating challenge yet, keeping up appearances, literally, while chasing Luthor through a city of smooth-scalped citizens. The Man of Steel's super strength proves no match for the dastardly depilatory Death Ray, and Jimmy Olsen nearly faints at the sight of Clark Kent's toupee doing a mid-air somersault. Lex, meanwhile, cackles from his lair, convinced that a bald Superman is a defeated Superman, and that the world will soon tremble before his hairless reign. Just when you think the day is lost, Lois Lane uncovers the antidote hidden in, where else? A vat of cold cream. With a single swoop, Superman restores Metropolis's luscious locks and gives Luthor the ultimate smackdown. The city cheers, barber shops rejoice, and Superman vows never to take his super hair for granted again. Because in the Golden Age, no evil scheme was too harebrained for Metropolis. Golden Age, but weird, Victory Age Comics. Joker, hero or villain? During the Golden Age of comics, an era known for its wild experimentation and boundary-pushing stories, Batman's arch-nemesis, the Joker, briefly stepped out of madness and into the unlikely role of a superhero. This bizarre transformation occurred in Batman No. 85, published in 1954, in a story titled The Joker's Double. The tale begins when the clown prince of crime is struck by amnesia after a failed heist and a blow to the head. Waking up in Gotham Hospital, the Joker has no memory of his criminal past, and when he glimpses Batman apprehending a gang, he mistakes himself for a crime fighter as well, deciding to become Gotham's newest hero. Donning his familiar purple suit but swapping his sinister smile for a determined look, the Joker adopts the moniker The Joker's Double. He begins patrolling Gotham, using his cunning and trickster skills to foil crimes and outsmart underworld thugs. This sudden shift leaves both the criminal world and the police force bewildered and suspicious. Batman, ever the detective, is thrown off by his foe's apparent reformation and must investigate whether this new Joker is truly on the side of justice, or if it's all another elaborate ploy. As the Joker's double, the former villain even rescues Commissioner Gordon from a hostage crisis, earning a front-page headline in the Gotham Gazette. The episode is filled with classic Golden Age slapstick and improbable gadgets, including Joker-themed smoke bombs that incapacitate crooks with laughter rather than fear. However, the transformation is short-lived. A second blow to the head during a rooftop scuffle jogs Joker's memory, and he reverts to his criminal ways, leaving Batman to wonder if true redemption was ever possible for his greatest foe. Though short and peculiar, the Joker's double stands out as a testament to the creative risks of the Golden Age, where even the most notorious villains could wear the mantle of hero, if only for a few pages. It remains a fascinating footnote in comic book history, blending humor, confusion, and the eternal dance between hero and villain. Brought to you by Victory Age Comics. Reviving forgotten heroes, one panel at a time. Bizarre Bunny Superhero Origin. During the wild and experimental Golden Age of comics, 1938 to 1956, publishers weren't afraid to throw almost any idea onto the page. One of the strangest examples came in 1941 with the debut of Captain Marvel Bunny. At a time when superheroes were multiplying rapidly, Fawcett Comics decided even animals could join the ranks of the Caped Crusaders. Captain Marvel Bunny was, at heart, just an ordinary rabbit named Hoppy. But what made Hoppy special was his ability to transform into a heroic, superpowered version of himself by uttering the magical word, Shazam. Just like his human counterpart, Captain Marvel, now known as Shazam. Once transformed, Hoppy sported a tiny red costume and cape, ready to take on the forces of evil in his own funny animal adventures. This unusual comic blended the slapstick humor of talking animal strips with the bombastic action of superhero stories. Captain Marvel Bunny's foes ranged from bumbling animal criminals to eccentric masterminds, all rendered in a cartoonish, light-hearted style. Despite the odd premise, the character became a hit with younger readers and ran in his own feature for several years, proving that even the most unlikely heroes could capture the public's imagination. Captain Marvel Bunny stands as a testament to the creativity and unpredictability of the Golden Age, when comic book creators were unafraid to blend genres and break boundaries. Brought to you by Victory Age Comics. Reviving forgotten heroes, one panel at a time. Cosmic Justice Unleashed. The Golden Age of comics, 1938 to 1956, was filled with wild imagination, but few heroes were weirder than Stardust the Super Wizard. Created by Fletcher Hanks in 1939, Stardust was a cosmic avenger who used his vast and mysterious powers to fight crime in the strangest ways imaginable. Unlike other superheroes of his era, Stardust operated on a level that was almost godlike, and his punishments for wrongdoers were legendary in their surreal brutality. One particularly bizarre instance involved Stardust apprehending a gangster bent on wreaking havoc. Instead of simply handing him over to the authorities, Stardust unleashed his signature brand of cosmic justice. He turned the hapless criminal into a floating head, removing his body entirely and leaving him to drift helplessly in space. This punishment was both terrifying and darkly humorous, embodying the unpredictable nature of Stardust's powers. Fletcher Hanks's artwork and storytelling were as strange as his protagonist, with stiff figures, dreamlike scenarios, and punishments that seemed straight out of a fever dream. This surreal approach set Stardust apart from his more traditional contemporaries like Superman or Batman, making his stories cult favorites among fans of weird comic history. Stardust's cosmic tortures left a mark on readers and showed just how far the Golden Age creators were willing to push the boundaries of superhero storytelling. While Stardust the Super Wizard has largely faded from mainstream memory, his outlandish adventures remain a fascinating part of comic book history. Brought to you by Victory Age Comics. Reviving forgotten heroes, one panel at a time. The first swamp monster. During the Golden Age of comics, bizarre and imaginative characters frequently burst onto the scene, but few were as eerie or ahead of their time as the Heap. Debuting in 1941 in the pages of Ver Fighters Comics No. 3, the Heap is widely recognized as the first swamp monster in comic book history, paving the way for later legends like Swamp Thing and Man-Thing. What made the Heap so strange was not just his monstrous appearance, but his tragic, uncanny origin. The character began life as Baron Erich von Emmelmann, a German World War I pilot shot down over a Polish swamp. Rather than dying, Emmelmann's body merged with the marshy environment over the decades, transforming him into a shambling, plant-based creature with only the vaguest memories of his human past. The Heap would rise from the bog, silent and hulking, compelled to wander and sometimes intervene in the lives of humans, often acting as a force of justice, or vengeance, depending on the story. Unlike many superheroes of the time, the Heap didn't wear a costume or have a secret identity. His stories blended horror, war, and the supernatural, making him a unique figure among his more conventional cape peers. The Heap's unsettling design, moss-covered, faceless, and towering, captured readers' imaginations and set a precedent for the swamp monster archetype that would be revisited and reimagined for generations. Though the Heap eventually faded into obscurity as the Golden Age ended, his influence is still felt in comics today. He stands as a testament to the era's willingness to experiment with genre and form, and to conjure up the truly weird. Brought to you by Victory Age Comics. Reviving forgotten heroes, one panel at a time. Flying Hero and Birdie. During the Golden Age of comics, creativity soared to wild new heights, and few characters exemplified this better than Airboy. Debuting in 1942 from Hillman periodicals, Airboy was really Davy Nelson too, a courageous teenage pilot who quickly captured readers' imaginations, not just for his heroics, but for his remarkable companion. Unlike any other hero's vehicle, Airboy's airplane, Birdie, was a living machine with a bird's face, expressive eyes, and even a mind of its own. Birdie wasn't just a gimmick or sidekick, the plane became a character in its own right. Gifted to Davy by a dying monk who belonged to a secret order of flying monks, yes, really, Birdie could outfly enemy planes, dodge bullets with inhuman agility, and even display emotion during tense dogfights. The plane's avian features weren't just for show. Birdie's wings could flex and flap, and its propeller would spin with the nervous energy of a real animal in danger. This unusual pairing led to some of the era's most surreal and exciting aerial battles. Whether facing off against Axis villains, sky pirates, or bizarre science fiction threats, Airboy and Birdie offered something different from the usual hard-edged war comics. Their partnership blurred the line between technology and nature, adding a sense of wonder and whimsy to the genre and cementing Airboy's place as a cult favorite among Golden Age fans. Airboy's adventures ran for over a decade, and Birdie's unique presence left a lasting impression on comic history, even if the character faded from mainstream memory. Brought to you by Victory Age Comics. Reviving forgotten heroes, one panel at a time.